Hello and welcome to ApsCAS, otherwise an application suite for control and automation systems. This tutorial will walk you through everything you need to know to get started up with the application. Your first step is going to be to sign up. Simply load up all of your credentials and then choose an option to either hide your nickname from others, show others your nickname, or use a randomized nickname that others will see. So click continue and now you'll receive a one-time password in your email. And if you cannot find it, don't worry, it is probably in your spam folder. So make sure to check that out as well. Once you verify, you'll need to enter a few additional details like your first and last name as well as your time zone. If you cannot find your time zone, simply enter GMT plus or minus the amount of hours you're ahead or behind. So I'm ahead 4 hours, so I'll be GMT plus 4. Now from this screen, you can either activate the free trial right away, or you can create a demo organization and have a more hands-on learning experience with the app yourself by clicking on this button. Otherwise, activate the free trial and sign in once again. Now that you're done signing up, you must now either create an organization or be invited by one. To create one, click on this button and click on the plus icon on the bottom right corner of your screen and click Create Organization. So we'll call our organization tutorial, for example, or TUT for short, and the organization type will be private. Basically, you must enter all of this information: contact information, address information, registration information, and bank information. And unless you're a one-man show, you'll need some users within the organization. To invite them, type either their name or email that they signed up with. So I'll invite, for example, test1, as well as test2. And what this basically does is it sends them an invite link to their email, which they must accept in order to join the organization. You may also add a URL to the organization. This can be anything like a company website, for example. So we'll enter ours app.cassystems.at. You may also add some custom fields. This can be anything. These are just plain text fields, so it's purely up to you what you write in here. And then you have the organization files. Here you can upload anything and everyone in the organization will be able to see and access them. So let's click save. And congratulations, you have officially created your first organization. So now you have typed everything out, you can click here to check the organization users. Of course, they have to accept the invitation beforehand for you to be able to see them here. You can click here to edit the organization. You can delete it, you can freeze it, or you can change any of the information that you just added. Now that you have added your organization, your next step is going to be to start adding projects. To add a project, simply go to the top left corner of your screen and click select project and add new project. Now for the sake of teaching, let's just assume that we are a non-profit organization that wants to build a school for children. So we'll name our project, for example, School A. The project number can be anything. This is simply an identifier, so we'll put that as 1. The unit name and value, they are connected with each other. These are basically things that you want to keep track and progress of. Like, for example, if we're building a school in Vienna, which is 50,000 meters squared, we'll put the value name as meters squared, and we'll put the value at 50,000. Now, of course, it doesn't matter what you put here. You can put anything. Like, for example, if you want to keep track of monetary progress, you can put that to USD or any form of currency or measurement available. Now you'll have to add some additional details like the location of the project. We'll put that to Vienna. You can also add a description or some custom text fields. This can be anything, like, for example, a URL. We'll set that to google.com. To add users to the project, simply click add users and select from user list. We'll add tester1 and tester2. Now, if you want a project manager, you can give admin to a user. So we click admin and I'll give admin to, for example, tester1. And you can also add a start date to the project. We'll put that as today and we will end, let's say, same time next year. If you don't want others to be able to access the project and to keep it locked to only the people you have assigned it to, you can click this lock button over here to lock it from others. We can also add a URL. We'll put that to buildaschool.com and click save. Once you click create, your project will now pop up in your projects list. So from this list, you can add more projects. So let's add another one. We'll call that one as School B. Unit will be meters squared and the value 30,000 this time, and the project number, we'll set that to 2. So now that we have our projects, we can now go to My Cabinet and click Desk, and here we'll be able to see the progress of all projects within the organization. But of course, you can't see much yet because you have not added any real value to the projects. To do that, simply go to Kanban and create what we call statuses. To make any project easier to understand, you have to divide it into smaller parts like divisions or phases. Like, for example, the planning phase, the designing phase, or the launching phase, or like having a construction division within your project. And that's really all what statuses are. So for example, let's create a construction division within the project. And let's create a construction phase. So now I have created two statuses related to construction, but I'll only be keeping the phase one because that's what I prefer working with, but you can use either one of them. Now to statuses, you must add tasks. These are basically things that need to be accomplished within a phase, or for example, a division needs to do, right? Like for example, let's type playground, and this is something we have to build within the construction phase. We can also add some labels to it. So let's add a label, for example, called entertainment, and an orange label called construction. You can also add some value to the task. Like for example, let's say the playground is 10,000 meters squared, and that's how much you'll add to the project. You can also use the slider to change the task progress. For now, it will sit at 0%. You'll also have a to-do list. Like these are things to do for the task. Like for example, if we're building a playground, the playground will have all of these components like a swing or a slide. So let's add the field name swing and a slide. You'll have to complete the to-do list to actually make progress on the task. You can also add a task issue. Here you can say what the issue of the task is trying to solve and what the desired result is. You can add some custom text fields if you like. You can upload task files or set a task start and end date. And this is where you actually add users to the task. Click add user, select from user list. I will choose to add pretty much everyone from my list. And let's make tester1 responsible for the task and myself. If you want to keep a task private and hide it from non-assigned users, you can simply click this button and it will hide it from everyone except the ones you've just added. And just click create, and now you'll see the task show up on your status board. So now you can click on the task to see its properties. On the top left corner, we have the task unique identification number. You can also set the priority for the task. We'll set it to medium. You can share the task, you can download it or add comments. This is where the user communication will mainly take place. Each task has its own chat where users can share their progress and move forward with the task together. You can talk here, you can attach files. And if you go to the bottom, you can move the task between organizations, projects, or statuses. You can also copy the task or delete it. And this is the progress bar, and this is where you'll actually add progress. But to do that, you have to go to the to-do list and you have to update it through here, and the application will do it for you. So let's say you've completed both of them. Task progress will be at 95. For it to be 100, the person responsible for your task has to approve of it, and then only after that you can complete the task. So let's update the task and go to the main desk real quick. And as you can see, once you complete a task, it adds to the progress. So now we have 10,000 meters squared out of 50,000 meters squared on our school A project. You can go to my tasks to check your tasks. And this is where you can actually submit the task to the review. And once you do that, it will be sent to an admin or the user responsible for your task for confirmation. And as you can see, we have nothing confirmed yet. To confirm a task, if you're an admin or the person responsible, simply go to the admin cabinet and go to Task Manager. Here you can either confirm the task or reject it if something's missing or if you want something revised. You can click on the task to check if everything's in place. You can also check the comments. So once you confirm a task, it should now show up in the Confirm tab in the My Task section. And as we can see, it's here. Now let's go back to the main desk and we'll see that the task is now 100% complete. And that should show in the other sections as well. So let's go to the table. As we can see, it's 100% complete here as well. And now we can go back to the Kanban to check out our file manager. To access it, go to the right hand side and click the folder icon. Here you can either upload the files to the root folder or you can add some folders. So let's add two folders. We'll call the first one CAS A and the second one CAS B. So let's go to CAS A and add a file, for example. We'll add a txt file, and here you'll be able to see a preview. Go to the top right, click upload file. Now you can click on the file to download it, or you can move it across folders. So let's move it to CAS B, for example, and go back to the main page and click on the CAS B folder. As we can see, it's right here. You can also alternatively use the root folder as your file manager. So let's add the same file here, for example. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the folder section. You can also go to the task files to see all the files within the project. You can click on this button to organize it more neatly. So right now you don't have any task files, so it won't show up here. So let's go ahead and create a task with a file in it. We'll attach the same file that we just had. So let's create the task. Now when we go back to the file manager and go to task files, we'll see that the folder has already been created for the task with the file inside, and the file manager will do this for every task that you create. So we're done with the Kanban. Let's move on to the table. So this table will show all of your tasks and all of their properties. You can sort them by anything. You can sort it by ID, name, description. You can sort it as anything, but priority or deadline is probably going to be your best bet. You can also export the data on this table by clicking on this button over here. You can export it as either HTML or Excel. If you export it as HTML, you have to click on it and click on these three dots over here and click Generate PDF, and that should download it for you. You can also export it by Excel by simply clicking on it. So this is what it will look like if you exported it as HTML, and this is what it will look like if you exported it by Excel. You may also filter the tasks by going to the filter. You can filter it by name. So for example, let's try to find the task hello. And there it is. You can also filter for priority. Let's set that to medium, and let's delete the filter for the name. And as you can see, it will only show the tasks which have a medium priority. Now we're done with the table, so let's move on to the Gantt chart. So this is going to be another way of tracking your tasks. The Gantt chart will basically track your tasks against time. As you can see, there are all these dates. You can also change the scope of the dates. It will change it to weekly. Now, as you can see, the task is being tracked in weekly intervals. So let's go back and change it to monthly real quick. You can also click the arrow to sort the tasks based on their progress in an ascending or a descending manner. You can also export the Gantt chart by clicking this button. You can export it via either chart or Excel. Simply download it. If you export it by chart, it will probably look like this. Alternatively, you can export it to Excel by clicking Export to Excel over here. Now let's go back to the chart. Now let's just imagine for a second that you got carried away and you scroll too far away from your today's tasks and you don't wish to scroll all the way back. You can simply click this button over here and it will bring you back to today. And for convenience, there's a button within the Gantt chart to add a task to the project. Here you'll have to add the task to a status. So let's just select the status to be our construction phase and create. Oh wait, we did not add a name to the task. Let's call it test and create the task. And now as you can see, it shows up in the Gantt chart, but it's a bit disorderly, so let's sort it out once again. Now this way, yeah, this way. The colors of the boxes will tell you how much progress there is within the task. Like for example, the red ones have 0% progress, and the more progress there is, the more green they get. You can also full screen the Gantt chart to use it more easily. Also, the blue line that you see on the screen is today. That is the marker of today. Anyways, let's just move on to the event calendar. So here you can see your tasks be sorted out on a calendar. You can click on it to check what tasks you have today. For any given day, you can also see how much of each priority you have. So to use the calendar efficiently, you have to set a start and end date, otherwise the application will do it by itself. You can also see today's date be outlined by a red box. And if you want a yearly view of the calendar, you can simply click on this button, but we'll stick to the monthly view. If you add any new tasks, you can click on the refresh button to update the calendar. And if you want it to show only the tasks that you've been added to, simply click on this button, and for us that will entail only one task. And finally, you have the option to make the event calendar show only the tasks within a project, organization, or all organizations in general. And let's quickly explore the comments section. Here you can see the comments within tasks, projects, and you can also swap between projects up here. And on the top right, you'll have the option to show all of the comments irrespective of the project or task. And we're finally done with the My Cabinet section, so let's close that up and open the admin panel and go to user tasks, where we'll be able to see the task of each user. You can also check which tasks each user is responsible for. So for example, tester 2 is not responsible for any task, so when we click it, it's going to be empty. Tester 1 on the other hand is responsible for the playground task. You can also click this events calendar to check what tasks they have for today, and you can also export the data in Excel. So now let's revisit the My Organizations tab within the admin panel and go to Organization Users. So let's say you have too many members within your organization and you want to divide them into groups. You can simply click here and create a user group. So let's create one called testers and add both of our members in. So basically this is how you create user groups within your organization. If you have, like, for example, divisions or special task forces, this is how you do it. Anyways, now we're done with the admin panel. Let's move on to the settings. So here you can change your language to whatever language you would prefer. You can also go to the notification settings to personally customize your notifications. But more than that, you can go a step further and use the holidays feature. So let's say, for example, we choose our country as Austria. And if we click this eye icon over here, it will show us all of the public holidays. And on these days, it will not send us any notifications and it won't count as work days. But if we have any custom holidays within the organization, we can add a custom holiday. So let's say we add a custom holiday and we make it Wednesday, 23rd. And now on the 23rd of July, we won't receive any notifications and nor will it count as a workday within the calendar. So we can also use the work hours feature. So let's say we set a very realistic workday from 23:06 until 23:10 on Monday. And if you want to duplicate it throughout the week, you can click this button over here and duplicate it throughout the days. Now let's say you don't have work on Sundays, you can delete the work hours and click off work. And this way you won't receive any notifications and nor will you have any obligations from the application on these days. So let's go back to the settings, and let's say it's too bright for you. You want to work in a darker environment, you can click on the dark mode. But I personally prefer working in a lighter environment, so I'll turn that back off. If you want to create a backup, you can do so by clicking on backup and create backup. So these are all of your current files. You can select them or you can select them all and then download them. And let's go back. So say you deleted a task on accident, you can come over here to the archives to check your deleted tasks and you can restore them from here. And let's say you deleted a project on accident, you can come over here to the board archive and see every project that you have ever made. So now that we're done with settings, let's go over to my account, which should be on the top right. So here you can edit some general information about your account, and in the bottom you'll have the organizations and the projects that you were once part of. So for example, these are the organizations at the top and the bottom will show the projects. So I've made many projects during the course of this tutorial and I've deleted them, so that's why they're shown like this. Now let's go to admin console and check out our plans. On this account, I have the unlimited plan, which means that I get infinite storage as well as an infinite amount of users that I can license, and I have a validity of up to a year. If you want to check how much of your plan you have used up, you can go up here and you can also check how much of your storage you have used up. I also get AI voice support as well as live support from the team. You can't buy this plan directly, you must contact support to get it. By now you probably have the test plan. Here you get 0.2 gigs of storage as well as a license limit of 3 users. After your trial ends, you can get either the standard plan or the custom plan. The standard plan is €5 a month for 5 gigabytes of storage as well as a license limit of 5 users. You also get longer backup period as well as all the features that you had before, plus exclusive feedback support. So for the custom plan, this does not have a fixed price. It all depends on the amount of storage you'll need or the amount of users you'll have. So let's say, for example, we can get 50 gigabytes of storage and a user license limit of 10. We'll now have to pay €48.50 a month. And if we want additional AI voice support, we have to pay an additional €20 a month per user. And of course, you'll have the same features as before, such as the backup period of 30 days, as well as the AI chat support and exclusive feedback support. So now let's move on to the members tab. Here you can see the members of your organizations, and you can also swap between specific organizations and click here to either delete the user, show the projects that they're in, or you can click here to check the user's logs. This will show where they have been added or if they have made any changes to the projects. Anyways, let's move on to the organizations tab, and this is where you'll be able to see your organizations and the details about it. You can also fully delete your organization by clicking this button, and you can also create a new organization in this tab. And let's move on to security. This is where you can change your password. Just simply enter your old password and your new password twice. You may also enable 2FA to add an extra protective layer of security to your account. Simply verify your email first, and then you'll be met with this screen. Just get any authenticator app, follow the instructions, and then you'll be good to go. Now we're done with the My Account section, so let's just go back to the app and check out the AI. Simply go to the top right and click AI support and click activate. So now you can ask it these pre-placed questions, but you can also start your own custom chat and ask it whatever you want. So for example, how much progress have we made on school A? As you can see, it gives us a percentage. Let's ask another question related to which task has the most progress and who's responsible for it. And it will tell us that the task playground has the most progress. You can also ask it something unrelated to the project. Like for example, if we need to know the average school size in Vienna, we can go ahead and ask it that. And it will still give us an accurate answer. You may also upload files to the AI. So for example, let's upload the summary of our organization and ask it, what does this file entail? As you can see, it provides an accurate report on the contents of the file. It describes everything within the organization. And that's pretty much it for the AI part. Now let's go over to the main desk and explore the main desk here. So here on the top left, you can see the progress of the whole organization, and below that, you can see your projects. Within these boxes, you can see the project values, how much you have delivered and how much you have remaining. Right below that, you can see a pie chart. This will show your statuses and how many tasks there are within the statuses. So we have only one. So we'll make another one and we'll call that one education. We must also add a task to the status. So let's add a task called task. So now if we go back, we can see the pie chart is updated and will show us that we have 3 tasks within the construction status and 1 task within the education status. On the right of the pie chart, we have the bar chart, which will show us the progress for each project. So for example, School A has 20% progress and School B has 0%. You can also see the comments from the main desk and you can click on it to expand and check all of the comments. We also have a Gantt chart on the main desk. It is such a versatile tool that we just had to put it here as well. If you go over to the top right, you can see your notifications. So if someone adds you somewhere or assigns you to a task, or if your tasks are overdue, you will get a notification that will pop up here. On the left, you can also give us feedback. So for example, if you have any suggestions or if you find a bug, you can tell us about it and we'll respond as fast as possible. Of course, if you need any help, you can click on the help button and that will take you to our website. So here you can find some information that may be useful to you, or if you still have any questions and need help, you can contact us and we'll respond in no time. And this is pretty much everything that you need to get started out with the application. If you still need any help or if you have any questions, you can reach out to us in the ways that I just explained and we will respond in no time. So thank you for watching and welcome to ApsCAS. We hope you enjoy.